The dark side of Aries is that the Aries has a tendency to have unnecessary conflicts. When you have Aries, especially if it's in a bad placement within your chart, you might have tendencies towards temper tantrums, immaturity, being in conflict, unnecessarily conflicting and dramatizing and butting heads with others. So, this fiery element of Aries has this dynamic that you can become really hateful and have unnecessary conflict. You can hurt people with your words and actions. You can have tendencies within your psyche that are harmful to others, which ends up harming yourself, right? So the immaturity of Aries is the baby. Aries just came out the womb. That's the symbol of the ram, right? And so that's birth pain also, and the temper tantrum of a little infant baby. The symbol of the ram is also the symbol of the female reproductive system. So that's why it's the first sign, it's the birth of spring. So with that comes this sort of painful new beginning, right? So that can be another dark side of Aries, is rather than being at peace and growing peacefully, when they enter into a new situation, they can be immediately aggressive and defensive and trying to overpower others with their words, with their actions, with their thoughts and emotions, even. So, this is a dark side to them, that some of the bad placements for Aries, I would say Aries moon, because the moon is supposed to be watery. It's with Cancer, so it's supposed to be watery, emotional, mothering, and Aries is war and ruled by Mars, the planet of war, and is constantly at odds and fighting. So if you have Aries in your moon, that can be really detrimental to your emotional health. You can have aggressive and conflicting emotions, fiery emotions that are constantly being put out by the waves of the moon, because emotions are meant to be fluid and watery and cyclical, in tune with the moon, because the moon is what keeps the water in check, the tides in flow, and Aries is like a wildfire. It's just out of control. And so another bad placement for Aries would be, say, Venus, right? So Venus is naturally more of an earth and air. So Virgo and Libra is the most beneficial placements for Venus, Venusian energy. So if you have Aries, Venus is the planet of love, beauty, money, pleasure, sort of second chakra, sacral chakra. So if you have your Venus in Aries, your love, your relationship to love, pleasure, money is always at war. It's always at conflict. It's fiery. So you can channel that and understand that about yourself, and learn how to connect with people that will fuel that fire in a healthy way. But in reality, it's not the best placement. It's more of a dark placement, because in love, you're more likely to seek out conflict, seek out adversity, seek out butting heads or hurting others, and then you end up hurting yourself, because that's karma. That's the balance of the scales, the yin yang. When you attack and hurt others, when you charge at others, you're going to give yourself a concussion, right? The ram smashes into the other ram, and they both end up dazed and confused afterwards. They both end up really in a lot of pain afterwards. So this is all for our own understanding, right? So understanding your dark side allows you to be able to bring light to that, understand that, and sort of keep your keep your sheep calm and fluffy when it needs to be, rather than aggressive and slamming into things uncontrollably, conflicting the world.